Hey everybody and welcome back to Koi Pond Lifestyle. So what have we got on this week? So this week we're going to look at my top hacks that I use on my filter system for my pond to try to do things like saving water, making the filter system a little bit more efficient, speeding up some of the cleaning, because with my multi-bay Cockney Koi 10,000 system, I take a little bit more TLC, which is great. I have no problems whatsoever with my multi-bay system. But again, there's other things out there like your Nexus, like your drums and so on and so forth. But there's some little hacks in here that might help you to save a bit of water, maybe save a bit of energy, because all them bills are going up at the moment. What isn't going up at the moment? Ridiculous. So let's crack on and have a look at those hacks. Hack number one. Removing all that waste off the bottom of your filter system that you can't quite get without wasting a load of water. Siphoning. I basically bought myself a little one of these aquarium siphoners that I use to take away all the bits and pieces of waste to save me flushing the whole system out. As I'm demonstrating here now. Loves this siphoner. So yeah, just a simple aquarium siphoner that it works in most filter systems that I can think of, especially when you've got that little bit down the bottom and you can't quite get to it. You have to flush the whole system through, waste all that water. Just use this in between your full flushes. You still need to do your full flushes, but maybe just try one of these instead. Siphoners, love them. Hack number two, I don't remove my jack matting. I basically leave it in there to save taking it out and disturbing all the beneficial bacteria that grows in those filters in that jack matting. So I just leave them in, grab a bucket of water, pour maybe three or four, maybe 5 bucketfuls of pond water over the top of them, leave the dump valve open and just let that water drain away. And that ensures that it clears all the silty stuff out of the filter into the bottom, but don't disturb too much of the bacteria. Hack number 3, trickle in, trickle out. I think this is a personal preference, but I don't use it all the time. I don't find a need to replacing the water all of the time, but I use my trickle in, trickle out mainly for top-ups, or if I need to adjust my KH levels, because the tap water in Stoke-on-Trent in the United Kingdom is very high in KH. So if my KH level starts dropping, I just basically turn the tap on, run the tap until the KH level comes back up, and then turn the tap back off. I find that's cheaper at the moment than buying bucketfuls of bicarbonate soda and trying to get it right that way. And with how the utility bills are going at the moment, and I believe the water prices are going up, that's going to help as well. Hack number 4. Now, I've been doing this for a couple of seasons now, and I have no issues whatsoever with leaving my air off for 12 hours of the day. So I run my air pump between the hours of 7 PM and 7 AM, and then from 7 AM to 7 PM, there's no air running. And this is only through winter. So this is when the temperatures are below 10 degrees, because the colder water holds more oxygen. In the summer, now that's a different thing in the summer. I believe you need your air on 24/7 when the water is warm, because the oxygen isn't held in the water as good as it is when the water is colder. Now I've got to do some more tests on this yet. Now I'm waiting for a test meter to come along so I can actually measure my oxygen levels in the pond when I turn it off completely for 24 hours. That's what my ultimate goal is, because of the cost of prices of electric and gas and water and so on, that we're all trying to make savings. So my ultimate goal is to keep my air supply off only in winter, only when the pond is below 10 degrees off. So in the summer, yeah, of course you've got to run it all the way through because of the oxygen levels depleting as when the sun's out. But yeah, that's hack number 4, save some power, only in winter. Hack Hack number 5, filter floss. Can't knock a bit of filter floss. It's probably one of the most cheapest filters you can get for your filter system. Now I use a lot of this on the finals 2 stages of my multi-bay. So I basically just lie the Jack matting on the filters, and this just filters out all kinds of fines. Now there's another product on the market, a Tempest, a vertical Tempest filter. That does a similar job, but is so much more expensive. This, cheap as chips, just pennies worth. You can get a massive roll of this that'll probably last you 2 or 3 seasons for about 25-30 quid. So for me, filter floss in the last 2 bays does the job. But I don't use this in winter. I keep this out in winter because I don't see a point using it, to be honest. There's not as much fines, I'm not really feeding the fish a lot, so I kind of don't use this as much, but definitely filter floss. Now my next hack is actually measuring the temperature in your pond. So there's a number of ways you can do this, loads of little electronic little gadgets you can buy, but the cheap and cheerful ones that I use are these little aquarium temperature gauges. So basically they've got a little sticker on the back with a small probe. I've got 2 of these. One goes straight into the pond and measures sort of like 2 foot depth of the pond. This other one goes into the filter system, straight into my vortex. Press a button, tells you what the temperature is, press the button and hold, turns back off again. So that's one of the ways that I measure it, and there's usually around about a degree in difference or so between the pond and the filter system. So it seems to be, it's always higher in the pond and it's always a degree lower in the filter system. Another way of measuring is my little speed gun. So this is the little things where you press, hold the button, point it at the water, and then it reads on the back and tells you what the temperature is. Now these aren't as accurate, well, not very accurate at all, to be honest. I mean, this is quite a kind of close. These things are telling me it's 7 degrees. This is telling me it's 8 degrees. So they're not that accurate, but they give you a damn good idea of how the water temperature is doing in your pond. Hack number 7 that I find has come in really handy since I put it in is my KPL waste extractor. It's an extraction pipe that I put in the bottom of my vortex. So once it's extended into the vortex and I open up the discharge valve, it draws in from one side of the vortex to the other, giving a complete clear of all the waste at the bottom of the vortex. So this is coming really handy, this has, because again, it stops me wasting water. So every couple of days in the summer, I'll just flip that open, count to 7, because I've timed it and it takes around about 7 seconds to clear, turn it back off again, and then it's cleared everything at the bottom. Because if you haven't got one of these things in, it only clears it from where the exit valve opens. So there, this is a really handy tool. Oh, thought of one more as well. Come on, I'll show you. Okay, last hack for now. This is an interesting one. When I got my filter system, my multi-bay system, these things don't come with an air supply. You get lots of your more modern day filters that come with an air supply in. But if you already have one or you want to introduce more air into your filter system, this is what I did. I basically created my own little air thing like this. So, dead easy. Just went to B&Q, bought some 21.5mm piping and created myself my little air system. Now these are all blown from the garage, so the air comes from the garage straight into the multi-bay system, blowy, and I've connected 2 of these now. So I've got one in the final bay, which is, in fact no, I've got 3. I've got one under the media, under the moving media bed, and then the other 2 are in my Japanese matting sections. Work really well, providing loads and loads of oxygen to the moving media and all the biomedia as well in there. So that's another one. But if you want to see how I created these and loads of all these other hacks, you need to click on this link here to take you to my playlist on how I made the adjustments to my multi-bay system since I had it 2 years ago. Please subscribe, like, diddly bell for notifications, and share to all your friends. You've been watching Koi Pond Lifestyle.